Michelangelo. So here we go. Talking about a few things about this pedal. I'm doing this little organization in my space because working on a new album right now, so I want to have some things, you know, closer to where I stay when I'm tracking or when I'm writing. So it's a little messy. You will see a bunch of stuff. Also, this is not a review. I just want to show how I use the pedal, my favorite tones. And if you want something deeper than my approach, there's plenty of videos on YouTube with guys playing. I just don't want to do more of the same because there's plenty of material out there. Currently my settings, I'm using both the overdrive and the boost. It's good to note that the drive and the boost channels, they work independently, so if you just want to use the boost to push your amp, you can do that. If you want to just use the drive and no boost, you can do that, or you can use both like I'm doing it here. I'm using my custom signature Les Paul made by W. Ash with DiMarzio pickups going into the Michelangelo and going, hope you can see back there, my Marshall Jubilee. The amp, it's going into my ISO box that it's not in the room anymore, it's outside with two microphones, a dynamic, a 57 and a ribbon Ryer R121. I have a little bit of reverb and delay in the signal chain because why not? Let me turn this off so you can hear my clean sound with the amp, which is this. Amp's pretty loud, so if I play strong, it's gonna be a little bit distorted. Let me back off the delay a little bit. You guys can hear okay because I've been redoing all the cabling and trying to navigate things. If you have a home studio or a home setup, you might relate to that. You start connecting cables, and as much as you label them at both ends, hopefully, as you start, you know, switching things around, it gets messy pretty quick. And after years of unmaintained setup, I just have a cluster of cables behind my workstation, and I had something going on a few days ago and I couldn't figure out what cable was going bad, and I have to take it all apart, and it's gonna take me at least a week to redo the work. So everything right here, right now, I'm mixing some of the gear that I use for live performances with some of the gear I use for the studio work, because everything, it's kind of messy. Anyway, this is a great pedal. It's not the highest gain distortion you will ever find out there, especially nowadays. It's a fully adjustable overdrive pedal. It's analog. One thing I like about this pedal is the fact that you can choose the kind of clipping that you want. You have from germanium to fat to silicone diodes, and the boost, which is really useful. I will just show the way I use the pedal. Currently I'm on the fat clipping stage. My gain is around 11 o'clock. Preamp is halfway there at noon, level at noon. Bass is almost all the way up. High, it's at noon. And the blend control, it's kind of between like 3 o'clock, let's say 75%. What the blend does, it allows you to have your clean tone passing through, and you blend the overdrive to that. Kind of what a tube screamer would do. If you ever use a tube screamer on a clean amp, you will notice that you can always hear a little bit of the clean signal going through. So that's what the blend does. Once again, this is not a review. I'm just showing some of my favorite tones and the purposes that I use this pedal, and here's one of them. Sorry I don't have a top-down camera. My second camera is somewhere else, but I just showed you the settings. You can hear how the guitar sounds without the pedal, and now you can hear with the pedal, just the drive side engaged. So it's bringing a little of that top end back, and it's still very dynamic. I find it to be very organic, very natural sounding. You can adjust the settings on this pedal in a way that you can turn it on and off and barely notice that the pedal is, you know, active, which is really good, because if you want that kind of transparent overdrive tone, you can achieve with that. But because you have so many controls and you can customize the, you know, whatever you want as for the EQ, the blend, you have a preamp, gain stage, you have an overall level, and you have the gain stage. Something very interesting, sometimes you can take the pre all the way down, like you're turning it off, so it's not affecting, I guess, the first transistors or the first stage of the overdrives. And sometimes you can get a sound that it's a little more overdrive than a fuzz. So I noticed that if you bring the pre here too high, because you're saturating the first gain stage, that's what I'm assuming, that's how it sounds to my ears, you get that kind of fuzz territory. If you want a tighter overdrive sound, you can turn the pre all the way down, and the pedal still works. It's not volume control because you have the level right here. So it's like two gain stages. I don't know how this is wired, but this is also a great sound. So let me show you what happens with the pre knob all the way off. You still have great sustain. And you can hear in the low end that it's a little tighter. If I bring the pre where it was before, like halfway down, it starts to get a little mushy. But, you know, for a lead tone, I will mostly like never use like an open E string or do anything that I need that bottom end to be tight. I just need to make everything else a little more rounded, a little more juicy. So I love this tone. I'm not using the boost. I brought back my pre-control halfway up at noon position, and that's the sound. Very, very, very pleasant sound. It doesn't affect the character of the amp that much, right? And on. It's just adding a little more oomph to it. With the boost engaged, you just get a little extra stage too. Nothing to turn you into Zach Wild. You won't do that unless your amp it's on a crunch channel, or you're using this to boost another overdrive. You're stacking it. This is not a distortion pedal. I wouldn't even consider a mid-gain overdrive. I think it's a lot more subtle. I think it's a great tool to have in the studio, and you can cover a bunch of different tones, and it works pretty well with a bunch of different amps, from amps with a clean channel, with an overdrive channel. It all depends on the sound you're looking for. So once you know the benefits, right, the pros of the pedal, and you know the limitations, because every piece of gear has its limitations, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get some interesting sounds out of this. This is the Michelangelo, and from Dophix. Thank you guys for sending this over. It's being used extensively in my new material. Let me just play a little riff. It's a written part and how I use this pedal. I will turn off the boost right now, and this is from my next single from the upcoming album, and that's the tone. So, my cables. Great pedal. I hope you guys like it. And as I'm recording, as I'm finishing my organization project here, I will post more material for you guys to see. Once again, this is not a review. This is just a simple video to show how I use this pedal. I truly do. And eventually I'll be back with more videos, more material, more pedals and gear, showing what I've been doing. Sometimes you have to step back and just be focused and working. But if you're not posting, if you're not creating the so-called content, sometimes it feels like you're doing nothing, but it's the completely opposite. It just means that I've been busy working. I'm producing an album for an artist, producing my own album, starting the writing process for a next album with the project I have with my wife, Embracing Oceans. So it's been a busy times. Still also been busy with my photography work, because it's part of being an artist nowadays and being creative, and it's something that brings me joy. I want to do some videos in the future just to address a few things and my opinion between what it is to be an artist in 2025 and beyond. Hopefully, to share a little bit of my experience in not just in the music industry, but in an entertainment industry for a lifetime, and how things changed. I want to talk about AI because a lot of friends and a lot of people I know, they've been concerned about the future and in the arts, and for us, with AI taking over everything. And I just want to say I'm not concerned at all, and I have a strong reason to believe in that, and I want to just dedicate a full video just for that, hopefully soon. But for now, that's it. Michelangelo by Dophix. I hope you guys like it, and see you soon. And I'm on my underwear.